9 months after the Battle of Hoth, Luke Skywalker set in motion a plan to rescue his friends who were being held captive by Jabba the Hutt. After sending C-3PO and R2-D2 as a gift to the almighty Jabba, later on Luke Skywalker entered Jabba's palace, where shortly thereafter he was stopped by 2 Gamorrean guards who attempted to block his way. In a stunning move that we have not seen from Luke previously, he raised his hand and the 2 Gamorrean guards clutched their throats and fell back. At that time, I simply enjoyed looking at this scene. However, upon further thought, it is really interesting how Luke even back then was using both dark side and light side powers to achieve his goal. Watching further, after he clearly uses Force Choke on the guards, a force power that his father Darth Vader had mastered,
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
He immediately goes on to use a Jedi force power mostly made famous by his mentor Obi-Wan Kenobi.
You will take me to Jabba now. You serve your master well.
Let me see your identification.
You don't need to see his identification.
We don't need to see his identification.
These aren't the droids you're looking for.
These aren't the droids we're looking for.
At the time when Luke was using Force Choke, the Jedi were extinct and there was no Jedi Order to even maybe sanction him. However, during the days of the Republic, Force Choke was very much considered by the Jedi Order a dark side force power, and naturally it was forbidden to be taught. Because Force Choke originated from the dark side, it meant that this force power was fueled by dark emotions such as fear, anger, and hatred. It was used to inflict harm or injury for various reasons. Sometimes it was used as an expression of anger or displeasure, and even at times it was used to simply kill. Depending on the degree or power applied, the effects of a Force Choke on a person would result in either death, unconsciousness, or simply leaving the person gasping but still conscious, often being defined as torture. Many Sith Masters throughout the years used this power when wanting to punish people or prove their strength to a number of individuals. Those under its effect would usually clutch at their throats as an instinct. Of course, in the old trilogy it was mostly made famous by Darth Vader. Any insubordinance resulted in punishment or even death, and Vader even mastered this technique so much so that he didn't even need to be in the presence of his victim in order to apply the choke, as seen in The Empire Strikes Back. His son also followed in some of his footsteps. Rarely was any Jedi or Sith seen to use Force Choke on multiple victims. Usually they would target only one specific person. However, Luke, only with a hand raise, was able to choke 2 guards almost simultaneously. It was no secret that throughout his early life as a Jedi Knight, Anakin Skywalker showed us his darker side, many times succumbing to his anger and emotion. From watching him, I noticed that he often used one force power in particular, which was considered to be very dangerous by the Jedi Order, and of course it was known to be used mostly by the Sith. This force power was called Force Choke, and we have seen him use it many times during his Jedi career, especially during the Clone Wars. During those troubled times, Anakin Skywalker used this technique to torture Separatist leader Poggle the Lesser after the Second Battle of Geonosis. The reason for this being that after futile attempts by the Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi to gain intelligence from the Separatist leader, Anakin lost his temper when the captured Poggle refused to give him vital information that might save Ahsoka Tano. He would also later use it on Asajj Ventress when interrogating her on who framed his apprentice. And later on during the Clone Wars, he would go on to choke the Zygerian Queen Mirage Sintel, after she threatened to kill Obi-Wan and Ahsoka if he did not obey and serve her. Perhaps the most famous brawl of them all was during the Banking Clan investigation. Anakin Skywalker again used Force Choke on Rush Clovis during an anger-fueled hand-to-hand fight in Padme Amidala's apartment. The last time Anakin was seen to use Force Choke in his humanly appearance was during Revenge of the Sith. Anakin, who at that time had just been renamed Darth Vader, suspected that her most beloved confidant, his wife Padme Amidala, had betrayed him and was working together with Obi-Wan to achieve his death. In his anger, he force-choked a pregnant Padme Amidala. This incident was used by Palpatine to infer that Vader, in his anger, had killed Padme and that she and their child were now dead. Alright Star Wars fans, that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you liked it, feel free to leave a thumbs up down below and subscribe if you haven't already, and don't miss out on any of my future videos that I will post on this channel. Have a fun day my friends, and in closing, don't forget, may the Force be with you always.